Jay-Z becomes a billionaire after all the record labels turn him down. Big Daddy Kane gives us the breakdown.
So Warner Brothers had us out on a promotional tour. And every day, we just there clowning and joking and having a good time, and to like come in a record store and see the line, like you said, wrapping around the corner. Oh man, beautiful thing, man. I sit there and start acting silly and whatnot, as they start coming in, me and Al sitting there. I'm like, all right, all the light-skinned fans on this side, dark-skinned fans over here.
Do you think will it ever be like that again, Kane? Will music ever sell like that? Will people ever line up to want to hear a record, to go purchase a physical copy of a record or a CD? Will it ever be like that again, or we relegate?
I don't think so personally, innit? But let's hear what bro has to say.
To streams and other forms of receiving that.
I think that it's like that right now, just not as strong.
Okay.
You have artists that's selling vinyl for like $250 a copy, and people are buying it, they're purchasing it, so it's happening. It does exist, but will it be at the forefront like it was before? I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the world has pretty much become, a fast food. The world is fast food now.
That's what I'm saying. So basically the answer is no. Like, we've gone from that era of trying to, purchase music from CDs and like vinyls and stuff like that. We're in a digital era, you know what I mean? It's the same effect that social media has had on relationships, that, for example, social media has now had on the music game as well. With social media and relationships, the whole intention of social media was for people to basically come together and actually reconnect. So remember Facebook's old slogan, let's reconnect you with people that maybe you haven't spoken to in 5 to 10 years. Let's reconnect you with that high school sweetheart that you haven't seen in maybe 20 years. Let's reconnect you with your college friends or It was a whole connection thing. But it went from it being a connection thing into it now becoming a whole case of let's connect you to what we tell the algorithm to basically connect you to. And as a result, people are more distant now than ever before. The same thing with social media and music and the internet and music as well. Yes, it's allowed for people like myself, for example, to come in the game and learn from places like YouTube, etc., how to record, how to make beats, etc. And it's done wonders for me personally and for people around me. But for the biggest artists and for anyone that wants to become a superstar, the level of maybe a Drake, for example, or Kanye, or even a Jay-Z, for example, I don't really see it happening again, personally. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's kind of a shame to see. But there's other ways to make money. I don't necessarily believe that it's going to be in the music game the same way that all these old heads basically used to.
So it's going to be really, really hard.
When people ain't trying to wait on nothing, Kane.
Nah.
I mean, hey, they don't want to go to the grocery store. They call somebody. They call somebody to shop for them. They call Uber Eats. They call DoorDash. They call...
No. Hold this one. People don't even want to wait on the truth.
Wow.
It's not about, getting the story right. It's about getting the story first.
Facts.
So yeah.
Kane, what have you learned about money?
What I learned about money, I mean, for one, you have to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to protect it and spend it wisely.
Because it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. You know what I'm saying?
And
but how does a young man that's coming into a large sum of money, coming up from the background a lot of us came up from, impoverished background, maybe it wasn't a 2-parent home, it was a mom or a grandmom, and you've never had, and you get this sum of money and all the things that you've ever wanted as a child or as a young man, you get an opportunity to get it all at once.
I think that's always been one of the things that I've always wanted to do, where I remember when I got into property for the first time, like my entire intention was to help entertainers and, footballers, rappers, etc., to invest into property just to protect their money. But I realized that the problem is way deeper than that. We need to actually go from like financial literacy of how much, when you earn, you need to understand how much you're able to save and invest and how much to basically put here, etc. Because even me, when I got a bit of change, what did? I spunked it all, bro. Do you know what I mean? And the reason why I don't mind saying that to you guys and being transparent when I say it is because all these old heads and all the people that have been successful before, every person that has made a meal or like more, I'm not saying I made a meal in it, but every single person that's made a meal or more, they all said that, bro, first time they made maybe high 5 figures or 6 figures or anything like that, it went, not even 7 figures, it went because they didn't know what they were spending it on. It's the first time they had a bit of cash, so they thought, you know what? Let me treat myself to all the things that I wasn't able to get when I was still broke. Do you get what I'm saying? In saying that, it would be so amazing if there's more platforms dedicated to more so entertainers and people in these type of categories on how to manage their finance and get to the next level. Because when you look at old money, right? Old money is like all the rich families. You're looking at, if I start name dropping anyways, but all the old families that have sustained their wealth for the past decades, if not hundreds of years, centuries, right? They have crazy tax structures. They have, financial planning. They have estates. They have trust and things like that. They basically set up that if us in our community were able to set up, the amount of wealth that we'll be able to pass around and circulate within the community would be insane. The only issue is that when you create content like that, it doesn't get the clicks. When you try to say that to the man them, they're like, oh yeah, bro, but I can invest into crypto and do but Scott. Do you know what I'm saying? I've heard it all, bro. I've heard it all. So that's the reason why with me, I don't ever negate the fact that, yes, because how can I say it? 80% of my time and attention a day goes towards my businesses and all the boring stuff that I basically do that basically helps me obviously make a better change. But in terms of the fun stuff like this, reaction content, being in the studio, etc., the reason why I came back to it is because number one is inherently me. Like that's just is what I'm passionate about. Number two, it's also because I want to basically be one of the bridges or the gaps to basically show people that number one, you can do both. And number two, it makes sense to do both because if you're solely an entertainer in today's day and age, it's very, very hard. Number two, if you are not financially literate, you're going to lose your money. And number three, you need someone that's going to be able to basically communicate on both ends. That's always been one of my skill sets where I've been able to kind of communicate with the music heads and also the business heads and combine the two. So yeah, my people. But yeah, man, let's carry on hearing what bro has to say, man.
You can get whatever you want, as much as you want. How does one refrain from being reckless? Because when we get money, Kane, and we in our 20s, we think we're going to be getting money like this in our 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
So it ain't going to end.
That's the mentality. But, you have to understand that, there was always someone before you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There was Run DMC before me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Melly Mel before me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Jim Brown before you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you have to understand there was someone before me.
You were, but to see rappers, what they become, they fly private. I saw Drake. I was like, whoa, man, that Joe got a 767 decked out. These guys, 30, 40, 50, $60 million, nothing for these guys now a year. Kane probably looking back like, damn, I'm just 40 years too soon.
Well said, man. Well said. But I am so.
And shout out to Shannon Sharpe, man. Like at the end of the day, he's been going through it with obviously the allegations and stuff that has come out. I've actually made a video. I don't know when I'm gonna post it because it's a bit sensitive and something that I discuss with people in real life, but I've never kind of put those type of things out on the internet before. Do you know what I mean? So obviously by the time it drops, it's just talking about lust and how to basically control that, and also the fact that it's the biggest disruptor when it comes to successful men as well. In saying that though, you have to still big up Shannon Sharpe. I'm not saying that like he's like we should just overlook that and stuff like that because, bro, if you don't do it wrong, then you have to stay accountable and obviously do the time or pay whatever. Do you know what I mean? So, but outside of that, the guy's built a crazy platform. From him obviously being a presenter to now doing what he's doing, where he has a crazy podcast, he's able to also ask amazing questions in a certain type of way that gets answers out of these people that I haven't heard on other podcasts like that before. Do you know what I mean? He has a skill set and that needs to be embraced even more. I just hope that he's been able to learn from obviously what's happened and as he keeps on showing us the way, bro, like more success to him. You know what I'm saying?
Happy for these cats. Like, when I see that, when I hear about Drake's success, Jay-Z's success, I love hearing those stories because how difficult, especially with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Because this is someone who I tried to get a deal for in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? And no one was receptive. So to see this dude become a billionaire, I'm like, in their face, yes. I love it.
Right.
And that goes for the rest of them as well,
How'd you meet Hov?
There were these guys in Queens called the Shirt Kings, and one of them, they made spray paint shirts, and one of them asked me about doing a mixtape with Jaz-O, and I was like, all right, yeah, we do it. So we went to Brooklyn to my man Fresh Gordon crib. We supposed to be doing this mixtape. And then Jaz-O was like, yo, can my man rhyme on the tape too? And that was Jay-Z. So we did.
How old was he at this time?
I don't know how old he was. I mean, because I think Jay is like a year and a half younger than me. So, I mean, I don't know. Could have been 20, 19. I don't know. But he asked, could his man rhyme on the tape? And I was like, yeah. So we did the tape. And then when we was riding back to my crib, my man Nike from the Shirt Kings, he's like, yo, we really wanted you to do this because we want you to help, to get Jazz another deal. And, I was like, honestly, I kind of like the light-skinned dude better. Is it okay if I work with him? And that's how, we connected.
Right.
And we started, working on stuff. We was working on music, and, I was shopping his music, the different labels and things of that nature. And then I ended up doing the Feels Like Another One with Patti LaBelle.
Right.
And while we were on tour, I'm noticing that Patti is doing outfit changes. So I'm fascinated. And I'm like, oh, nobody in hip hop doing this. Oh, I can't wait to get back out on the road. So when I finished the tour with Patti and went back out on my tour, I grabbed Jay-Z and another rapper by the name of Positive K. He had a big song.
Pos K?
Yeah, I Got a Man. Yeah. So I grabbed both of them and brought them on the road.
What your man got to do with me?
So you right. Yeah. I brought them both on the road with me. And
when I see conversations from the old heads, it's just always so fascinating how the greats that we have today, this is their come up. This is how they did it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've always loved interviews and podcasts and stuff like that for this exact reason, because it's like you're a fly on the wall to conversations that would have happened anyways. You know what I mean? So what I mean by that is that, for example, Big Daddy Kane would have had this conversation with maybe people around him, maybe in a barbershop or someone that just asked him a random question here and there. But it's being put together in an interview format so that people that, let's be real, I'm probably never going to meet Big Daddy Kane ever in my life. Do you know what I mean? But I can hear directly from someone that helped Jay-Z significantly in his career and see exactly what basically got them there. Do you know what I mean? So very, very sick, man. Very, very sick. But yeah, my people, I'm going to leave the link down below so you can watch the interview entirely and you can actually digest it for yourself. And yeah, my people, in saying that, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. Make sure to like, comment, and make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.